Hey guys, King Size Customs here. So I have the Burger King done, but that's not the subject of this video. I think it's time to attack this guy. It's a M2 Ford F100 4x4 model kit. So what I'm going to do is actually crack it open in a few seconds, but I'll do that off camera, and then you guys will see. What I want to do is I want to kind of test my second parking lot. That is an Ertl Dodge Ram. And I kind of want to test my parking lot to see if, because unfortunately, these parking spots, when I first did them, are not to scale. So I can fit a lot of Tomica cars, the really small Japanese cars in here, but I can't fit big trucks or average size Hot Wheels. So kind of stinks. But again, it's what happens when you try to do things freehand. So this video may take a few minutes, but anyway, I'm going to go cut the package open and then try to assemble it right here. So I'll give you guys my perspective because you know I have poor hand-eye coordination, probably the worst of anybody on YouTube. So, use me as a guide for if you want to buy a model kit and build it. All right, later, guys. Okay, so we do have the truck out of the box and we have the box open. You do want to do this in a pretty tight space so that way you don't lose anything. Does come with their screwdriver and a part sheet included. I don't like how this is designed because it's a plastic cover taped over the box. So that's going to be a little difficult for me to try to keep the parts together. I'll do my best. Comes with one of their own M2 screwdrivers. I don't know. I'll try to do my best with their M2 screwdriver and take theirs instead of using my Harbor Freight. But if you guys have a Harbor Freight in town, they have a screwdriver set for $4 or $4.99 actually. And that's without tax, and it's pretty much different size flat heads, Phillips heads, a lot of precision screwdrivers, pretty much anything you would need. They don't have the triangular ones in that set, but what they do have is ones that are just like little posts. So I don't know what those are used for. They also have the ones that are like little circles at the ends, just in case you need those. So what I'm going to do is actually go through the parts list real quick, make sure I have everything, and then I'll start assembling it. But I'll do that piece by piece, showing you, here's how I take my truck off the base. Here's how I do my wheels. Here's how I do this. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, one quick thing to note since I'm new to this, and that's hard for me to see, so it's probably hard for you to see in the camera, but the plastic bag that the screwdriver comes in, I use that to hold the screws, but at the bottom it has these are your axles for your truck. They give you options to make they give you enough to make both sets of axles, so if you can't choose, just do that. Put both on the axles. What I like to do first is actually unscrew the base, the lift off the base. Slow and steady always wins the race, so just be careful. You don't want to strip the screws, you don't want to go too hard, just go slow. And then the other thing is, after I take this base off, I'll show you what I do so you don't scratch up your model. But I think you guys can figure that out from here, but I'll still put it on camera. I like to sit the model down, and then I like to take the screws off, put those in a bag because you might need them later, or you might want them later. They're good for customs. If you do your if you tap your customs and don't use self-tapping screws or self-threading screws, that's what they're good for. But all right, I'm gonna get the little lift off, and then we'll go from there. But just keep in mind that your axle making materials are actually inside the bag that the screwdriver is included in. So, all right, guys, see you in a little bit. Okay, so we have liftoff. All right, glad you caught that too. So we have the liftoff here. What I like to do is actually take the truck, flip it upside down, put it on a soft surface, but don't put it on a hard surface. Put it on a soft surface where you have layers of protection. So I do it on the instruction sheet. Sorry, I'm excited. This is my first model kit, as you guys probably can tell, and that's why I'm doing it on camera for you. But I have the instruction sheet, and underneath is my parking lot to Burger King, which is really just a cereal box painted and using some tape. So, but anyway, and then again, just do the same as you did with the lift. And always remember, slow and steady wins the race. Don't strip your screws. Sometimes with these screws, they're nice and easy, and they just come right out after a little bit of screwing. All you have to do is just do it by fingers. You can do it with your fingers and pull them out sometimes, like this. I know it's hard to see, guys, because my hands are in the way, but what I was going to do here was just do it with my, I was just going to unscrew it with my fingers. It helps if you have a little bit of nail. If you just got a nice manicure, I mean, I wouldn't want to do this. I know there's female customizers and builders out there, so, you know, don't do this with a fresh manicure, kids. So it also helps too if you have a cameraman to help you film with your little tutorials or how I do. Oh, I think we have lift off the base. I think. Yes, we do. So there's the base. There's the truck itself. Now I'm going to go through and read the directions real quick, and then I'll come back, tell you what I needed to do. All right. See you in a second. A couple of things you're definitely going to need for a job like this is screw keepers. You kind of get one when you buy the truck, but those are for the putting the body on the chassis screws. That is the screw for the dash. Screws in this bed here are for the doors. It says install engine choice. Another thing you're going to want is a butter knife, just so you can kind of scrape this off of the card that it's on. If your parents ask, just say it's a butter knife. You know, just please use a butter knife. That way you don't stab yourself, but so you can kind of clip up the plastic. As you can see, my nails, I need to cut those. So yeah, and engine choice, it's up to you. Me personally, since it's an old truck, I'm going to go with is in and the hood's on too. The hood's back on. One quick thing, this is zoomed in. This is zoomed in. But you want to be real careful. For me, it was a little bit of a challenge. I had to do it a couple of times to put the dash back in. The screw was no problem. I just stuck it on the end of the screwdriver and then just slid the screw across. So it probably will scratch up the plastic, but since you don't see it from this part, it's no problem. Now the engine isn't in there completely. It might shake a little bit. So what I'm going to try and do is open the hood to show you guys. See, my hood's a little stuck, but and I don't have good enough light out here. But yeah, my engine's in there. A little bit of glue will do you. But actually, I'm shaking it next to my ear. There's a little rattle, but I don't think it'll fall out. So what you want to do is you actually do want to take pretty much the truck entirely apart and just, you know, start with your door screws, take those out, make sure you have a keeper for those, and then take your dashboard screw out, and then pull the dashboard out, pull the hood out, put your engine in, and then you just reverse it. So in that case, after you've put your engine in, you would slide your hood in, turn the truck upside down on a soft cloth, or this paper works. I can't really see any scratches here on my truck. So you do that, and you just, again, put your dash back in. It might take you a couple of tries. Again, I'm not that coordinated with my hands. It only took me maybe like 3 or 4 tries. And then stick your screw for that on the end of the screwdriver, and then turn your screw in on the dashboard, and there you go. You pretty much got it, and you go from there. So I'm going to need to flip the instructions over and get back, because we did part 1, which was choosing our engine and putting it in the truck. Part 2 was installing the hood. Now, it says fun for all ages, but I guess you kind of have to really think about what you're doing if you're really young, because I know if I was like 5 or 6, I'd have to, I'd be trying to squeeze an engine in there instead of trying to take the hood off. But yeah, for that, sometimes the directions aren't in quite great order. So, all right, keep in mind if you're also building this with a small child, somebody under the age limit. I think it's like 8+, and then it says fun for all on the sides. Just keep in mind it says 8+ on the box. Keep in mind, like, if you're building it with a mature younger person, just be there with them so they don't get too frustrated. Again, also too, I have bad sight and poor hand-eye coordination, so that's really doing me not doing me a favor. So just keep in mind, you might want to just build these along with your son, daughter, nephew, niece, what have you, cousin. So, and they're fun, I advise people to build one even though we're not done yet. So, all right, see you in the next clip. As you can see, I have the doors back installed. Now, they do say in their instruction manuals to load up the screws into doors. For the passenger side, that part worked well. For the driver side, it took me about 5 tries. I didn't load the screw into the door. I kind of did and let it flap about, and then I took my handy dandy screwdriver here, kind of moved it. If you guys have a heavy duty like magnet, I would advise you to magnetize your screwdriver here, and then that way it just picks up the screw. Now, there are some finishing issues I've heard people have, but for me, it didn't come out that bad. The doors do open. It takes a little bit of work here, but they do open and they don't flop open. Now, the other thing is I kind of messed up the driver's side vent window here, so it sticks out a bit, but again, you really can't see it too much. Next things next is the seats, and that's not really a problem. And then it says put the wheels on. So now I'll come back after we have the seats in, and then I'll try to do the wheels. The wheels may be a challenge. So, all right, guys, one little tip. When you have the truck off the base and you need to reassemble it, if it's a pickup truck, I'm not sure how well it does on the sedans. I'm going to try to pick up a 240Z, or for you European guys, 240Z. Yeah, about that. For a 240Z or one of the sedans, I'm not sure. But what you want to do for your pickup trucks here is do the middle screw first and then do the 2 end screws. Right now I just have the middle screw done, but I do have the interior in the truck. Now, the reason why you do the middle screw is so the body can go back together. But, yeah. Let me try to get this light right here. I hope you can see that. I'll try to do some closer. Oh, hold on. Yeah, see that little outline? Those are the seats there. And my doors do shut pretty stiffly. Not so stiff that you're going to break it, but not so gently that you're going to flop open. There you go. See, I got the seats in there. So, yeah, if you're doing a pickup truck, do the middle screw first and then do the other 2 ends. So I'm going to go do the other 2 ends of the screw, the other 2 parts of the truck. Screw that back together, and then we'll come back and do wheels. All right, guys, wheels are a piece of cake. I love the way they did the wheels. The only thing I don't like is they tried to get you to use the average wheels with the Goodyear tires. All right, trust me, when that focuses in, that says Goodyear. You can kind of catch a glimpse, but they wanted you to use these. Come on. they wanted you to use these average tires, these average wheels. Yeah, they wanted these tires with those nice pressed chrome wheels. I don't think so. It took a couple of seconds to get those out, to get those pressed in. And then the little baggie for the axle material is okay. I don't like it because what I kind of have to do, and it's hard to do one-handed, is to get an axle out, I slide it out of the bag. So give me a second and I'll be right back after I have it slid out of the bag. You just take it, slide it in the one wheel, like so. And remember, I've got poor hand-eye and then you just slide it into your into where your truck goes. Slide it into your little tab, your little holder here. And then you just slide the other wheel on. It's really simple. So I'll come back when the truck's assembled and we'll drive it around for a little bit, and then I'll give you my final rating, okay? All right, guys. Hope that sounds good. All right, so here we go. Final thoughts on this truck. Good project. The only thing is I have a couple of issues with it. So this rear wheel, and this was the first axle I did, or no, this was the second one actually, kind of pops out every once in a while. Like as you see, it'll dip in and out. Truck doesn't look too great body-wise. You can see how the bed kind of leans in. It's a common problem on die-cast trucks. I think the way to fix that would be to take the middle screw out, but I don't really mind. It doesn't bother me too much. Yep, see, there goes the wheel. But you know, it's not a toy. It's a model. It came together pretty easily. The only thing I wish was that it was a little bit tighter. The wheel was a little bit tighter on there. I can try and press it on a little bit better, but tires, I wish your tire choice was kind of, you know, I can't complain to say the least, but I didn't like how they tried to force you to use these bland wheels with the regular bland tires. Other than that, it's a good kit. If you like Ford trucks, you know, get yourself a couple of these kits. I might go back to Walmart and buy a few more. One to do in the total custom style with the more modern engine. And then, yeah, see, that's not quite sticking in there. But, yeah, one with the more custom modern wheels and tires, the pressed aluminum. I think that's what that was supposed to be, your pressed chrome. And then, you know, these are, honestly, these would be pretty cool to spray paint. Now, I don't think you could strip them because there's a bunch of, like, little plastic things, but I don't know. I mean, there probably are a bunch of people who are stripping them, so. Anyway, let me get this video out to you, and we'll call it a wrap, but I think that's pretty cool. So, all right, later, guys.